Strap in. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Scarif Live tonight, Thursday. What is today? I don't even know what day it is. I think it's been Monday for the last 2.5 months.
6 months. Last 6 months.
6 months. There you go.
This
Welcome,
is March
everybody.
15th, I think.
March 5th. Oh, no, my God. I'm like, that's my mother's birthday, I think. Oh, no, I missed it.
Oh, no.
But how you doing, Brad?
I'm doing good. I don't think we were expecting this today, and so it's a good reason to get together and chat.
Yeah, I think we were expecting this trailer to drop for the last, I don't know, 5 days, and it couldn't have come at a better time.
You read my mind because Star Wars fans need content. If they
Yeah,
don't have content to chew up, they chew each other up.
and
So I'm glad we
exactly.
got some content.
Yeah, so I'm glad that we've got this to talk about instead of talking about each other and getting angry at every little thing. But we've got Baby Yoda ready
Man.
to go. I'm very excited, and this is going to be a really great show. This is probably going to be one for the record books, as they say. But we've got a huge panel with us. You know, it's a good thing that StreamYard has has changed, I guess, their user interface to allow, what is it, 10 people on at a
And,
time. So we're close to that. So we got a lot of folks, some from the Red 5 Network, some of our friends. We've got some folks that are joining us as well in the chat, and I got to tell you, I'm very excited, and I think Shannon was the first one in the chat hours ago.
I saw that.
Actually beat Cam Ray. Sorry, Cam, I'm gonna have to send you a pineapple pizza, and you're gonna have to do your thing with that. But sorry to say, but yeah, it's fantastic. Did you? How many times have you seen the trailer now?
Probably, let's see. Well, regular watch throughs probably 5 or 6, and I think I watched 2 or 3 break. I can't believe how many breakdown videos. I guess we're adding to it,
Sure.
but I can't believe how many breakdown videos there are already. So I think I watched 2 or 3 of those. It's not that long of a trailer, but it got me pumped. I'm ready for it.
Definitely. Again, guys, welcome to the chat. I see a lot of people joining us. We've got double digits in the chat. Thank you very much for, kind of sharing the excitement with us. Brad and I have been talking about this one. We were going to record a regular podcast, but then all hell broke loose, and this is fantastic. We're going to have a lot of fun here. I think maybe we should start bringing out our panel one by one and get this party started. So, Michael, good to see you. We got Pizza and Parsecs. Dale, Justice is in here. Charles, Conversations. Charlie, he's going to be on camera. So let's start bringing some folks in. And I think what you wanted to do is maybe do a quick little recap of season 1, but we'll bring everybody in and just kind of, talk a little bit about the Mandalorian, and let us bring our brother from our Red 5 Network. If you guys are not familiar with Red 5 Network, head on over to red5network.com and check out all of our family of podcasts. A lot of great content there. And let's bring in our first guinea pig here.
I thought you were going to say our brother from another mother, but you went a different direction with that.
You know what I did? I think, people use that quite often. I wanted to subvert your expectations. Brad.
Like your favorite directors do.
Exactly. Charlie, how's it going?
Man, it is a wonderful day to be a Star Wars fan.
It sure is. Sure is. Charlie from Star Wars Through the Ages. How is it going? I see that you are dressed for the occasion, and I know we were kind of playing around with some helmets beforehand. Brad, you got to get yourself a Star Wars helmet. I know you've got some stuff
I
in
got
your.
one upstairs. It's upstairs.
All right. Well, we're downstairs, Brad.
I'd look much better if I wore it. So maybe I will wear it from now on.
Excellent. All right.
That was my thought as well.
Yeah.
Thanks, Charlie.
Looking good, Charlie.
No,
looking
for me.
Oh, okay.
There you go. There you go. Let's. Who else do you want to bring in, Brad? Who else do we
all
got?
of them.
Let's bring them all in. So we
Make
got.
sure Rob, as long as Rob is last.
Yeah.
we lose viewers as soon as he pops on.
There you go. There you go. All right. So we let's bring in another. This time, if you want, I'll say it. Our sister from another mother, Michelle from Force of Light Entertainment
Sister
Podcast.
from another mister. Come on.
I don't know, something like that. How are you, Michelle?
I'm doing good. I'm excited. I've got my baby with me.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to talk some. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. There you go.
Ready to talk some Mando.
Excellent. So Andrew and Marisha just joined us too in the green room there. Guys, may help yourself to the red M&Ms. They're in that bowl. Make sure that you grab a handful. But let's start bringing people in. We got Nicole from Peace, Love, Star Wars. Hi, Nicole. How are you?
Oh, good. How are you guys?
Fantastic.
No, it's a great day. Definitely
We
awesome.
are excited, super excited to talk about some Mandalorian. Let's bring in who we got. Let's do the little roll of the dice. We got Justice. Justice, what's happening?
Nothing much. That trailer was crazy. Can't wait to talk about it.
It was. We might be able to kind of run it again in secret, but just don't tell anybody. Let's run it again in a little bit. Let's bring in Kev. What's up,
guys?
Kev? Good to
Another
see
beautiful
you.
evening. Good to see you guys, man. Happy to be here. Ready to break down some of this trailer. It's going to be fun.
It is going to be fun. And last but certainly not least, our favorite duo, our favorite Star Wars duo. We got. Oh no, it's not last. We got one more, and he just took a sip. There you go. Let's bring him in so he doesn't feel left out.
Oh,
Rob, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing wonderful, man. How about yourself?
Excellent. Andrew, Marisha, love you guys. Thank you guys for joining us. This is a very exciting show. We got a lot of great people here. We're gonna talk a little bit about what our thoughts are on this trailer. I've been posting most of the afternoon some screenshots of the trailer, and I think Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau have they're going to be pulling out the stops creatively here. So this is going to be really, really fantastic. Wow. An all-star lineup, Charles. That is correct. We don't mess around here at the Scarif Scuttlebutt podcast. We got everybody here. So, Brad, how did you want to start? I know in a little bit we might be able to, briefly look at the trailer again and just kind of get our heads kind of wrapped around the awesomeness that is this season 2 trailer. We've been expecting it for a while. Every day was, we're going to get it today, and then nothing happens. We're going to get it today, and then nothing happens. And then, this maddening weekend happened. And I think, we said it before we started. I'm glad that they dropped it today. It'll give us something to talk about for the next couple of days. And it's really great.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think one of the things that might come up is maybe I missed this. I don't know. Like I said, I've been trying to stay off the internet. It's been good for me. But this business with Pedro Pascal, did you guys hear about this drama that apparently took place? I missed it, but I guess he stormed out on a couple occasions.
I didn't hear that.
Oh yeah, it was one of the breakdown videos I was watching, and they think maybe this is the reason why the trailer didn't have much content in it. And apparently they've said that the second half of the season might be wild because it might not focus on Din Djarin, but because Pedro Pascal wanted more screen time with the mask off and stuff like that, and they wouldn't budge. I don't because he's the Mandalorian and he wears a mask. Now I'm not sure how much this is hearsay, but that would make things interesting.
Yeah, and I think the proverbial
You think
horse
we,
has left the barn. You know, I mean, this is the way.
Yeah.
Helmet stays on. I guess, you know, they're going to have to kind of change the narrative a little bit if that were the case.
That was kind of always the risk in going and hiring a known actor to play the part, right? That's kind of the same thing they deal with every time they talk about making a Halo film. It's like, well, do you just put a stuntman in it or what? Because you're never going to show his face. And what actor is going to be happy with that?
Right.
Sure.
True. But
and that's how Pedro got big on Game of Thrones too. You know.
Right.
yeah, I'm going to take all of that with a massive grain of salt. Like
Yeah.
massive. Because
yeah.
so, I mean, salacious stuff like that. I mean, you can find it all over the place. But you know, I don't know.
Most of the sources are from YouTube, so can you really trust them anyway?
Sure.
True.
Don't
True.
trust you.
I have found
I
some
will-
gnarly stuff.
I was going to say what Justice said. Like all the sources I've seen, it's been just YouTube sources. And if you really follow what they're saying, it doesn't really make a lot of sense. I mean, honestly, if you break it down, like to me, it just doesn't make sense.
But it's
So
on the internet.
I would, like you guys said, take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah. Anywho.
Yeah.
So you want to start with the season 1 recap, or do you think everybody's well versed on season 1?
Yeah, is there anybody that has not seen season 1? I was just texting a friend of mine who I grew up. We were both massive Star Wars fans, and I just asked him if he's seen season 2. No, it wasn't you.
No, you can't see this, but I typed it all up. So I kind of want to do the recap because I typed this freaking thing up.
You did the work. Now we got to do it.
All right,
But
sounds good. All right. I mean, I'm
Oral
sure.
Pelican sucks.
There's a Yoda kid. A bunch of people get killed, and they got away. And there was a dark saber at the end. I did all that for nothing.
That's the recap.
It
But
tracks.
did you guys do a rewatch before season 2 starts? Are you guys going to be doing a rewatch, or has anybody already done one?
We
I've
were.
already
I've
been
done-
over the summer.
We'll
Three
rewatch.
times.
We're too far out.
Yeah, I redid one before our episode with a certain point of view, talking about Cara Dune, a character discussion about her. But I probably will watch it again. I mean, that's the great thing about The Mandalorian is it's so rewatchable and it's so easy to tear through because the episodes are so short and there's only 8 episodes.
True.
Yeah.
True.
And there's
I watched it
there's
again
so
over
much
the summer.
detail. There's so much detail that's in there that almost every time you watch it, you're going to pick up something different, something new.
That's the wonderful thing about Star Wars. I mean, I still watch, Star Wars Empire, Return of the Jedi, and I still kind of like pick up new things and see things from a different perspective. I mean, obviously people are still posting things that they never realized that were there, even from the original trilogy, saying that, oh my God, there's a Tauntaun head in Jabba's palace. I never realized, I never saw. So
Someone
just the
saw
fact that,
Dengar.
yeah, so just the fact that there's so much detail in these films is just wonderful. It's a testament to the creatives behind the scene. So I don't know if you want to just continue doing a recap, or do you guys want to have I can roll the trailer and hope we don't get bumped off. But what do you guys think?
I say
say
let's
roll it.
roll that trailer.
All right,
Yeah.
let's take a look at the Mandalorian season 2 trailer, and then we'll come back and we'll start talking about it. Guys in the chat, if this is your first time, like I said, man, strap in, because it's a good one. We've got a couple of things that we're definitely going to touch on after this. We'll be right back.
Show me the one whose safety deemed such destruction. You must reunite it with its own kind.
Where?
This you must determine. The songs of eons past tell of battles between Mandalore the Great and an order of sorcerers called Jedi.
You expect me to search the galaxy and deliver this creature to a race of enemy sorcerers?
This is the way.
You know this is no place for a child. Wherever I go, he goes. So I've heard. This is the way.
Ooh, I got them chills, that jingle, jangle, jingle, baby.
Amen.
What'd you guys think? So there's a lot there to pack, and I was doing some screen caps and kind of posting a couple of questions, but what was the one thing that kind of made a big impact for all you guys? Brad, let's start with you, Brad.
Definitely the ice planet, which to me it's got to be Ilum. I don't think there's any chance it's Hoth. I think it's got to be Ilum. There are too many ties there for that not to be. Obviously, he's trying to reunite the child with the Jedi. I think that's his mission here. And obviously the history of Ilum with the Kyber crystals and the Jedi. And I was talking to Ro earlier. A lot of people remember that there were some Clone Wars episodes with Ahsoka, and where she went to Ilum with the younglings, and she goes back later on as well, I believe, too, in her novel. So there's connections there with Ahsoka. So possibly that might tie in with her. And if you look at the ship in the background when they land there, that's not the Razor Crest behind them. That might be. It looks like almost a Republic, one of the Republic gunships from back in the day. We all know that Rex is coming back, maybe. So I think we're going to see some good stuff there. And don't forget, Jedi Fallen Order also just had some stuff with Ilum as well. So if they're smart, there'll be all kinds of tie-ins there. So I think the sky's the limit there with Snowplane, it seems.
Definitely.
You think that's a Republic gunship or a Y-wing?
The way the front cannons were pointed down, it almost looked like the rolling cannon that was on the front of the Republic gunship. So that's kind of the vibe I got from it. It's kind of hard to see; you can only see the front of it. But yeah, I think the Y-wings were more straightforward with the forward cannons.
We shall see. Michelle, what did you think about the trailer? What stuck out in your mind?
Well, I mean, I loved it. To me, what stuck out is it looks even more cinematic than season one. I mean, it looks like all that baby merch. I see you've got the new Baby Yoda shirt on, Ro. It seems like all of that has led to them getting an even larger budget. And I mean, to me, it just looks phenomenal. Like the part where Mando takes off with his jetpack. I mean, that looks like you're watching Marvel and Iron Man's taking off. I mean, the quality there is just cinematic, like movie level quality. And then, I mean, let's be real. What excited me is getting back to what is the core of the show. And that is, as Mando says, where I go, he goes, you know, this relationship. And I legitimately cracked up watching this by myself the first time, where Baby Yoda like sees him going to hit the singing birds or whatever they're called, and him hitting the thing to shut the crib up. I mean, that just cracked me up. But I mean, it's just gorgeous. There's so much in it. Just the stormtroopers, everything. I mean, it just looks like the stakes are bigger in this season. Like there's a weight behind this trailer, I feel like, and I can't wait for October 30th.
Yeah, that's what I posted that earlier regarding the look and feel of this trailer. It definitely looks bigger than season 1. There's a lot of sets, a lot of scenery there, and yeah, it definitely looks like it could have been a movie. I think they're pulling out all the stops. I think obviously the season 1, with the technology that they use with the volume, obviously they were trying out new things. I think maybe they've mastered the combination of practical versus what they project. And I think it's going to definitely look fantastic. Andrew, Marisha, what did you guys think? Tell me what you guys thought. What brought you? Which part brought you to tears?
You, sir?
I mean, y'all are right. I mean, it looks fantastic. It looks like they upped their game, but I really, at this point, I don't expect anything less from Favreau, who is kind of always upping his game. And this technology is his baby, and he's just getting better and better at it. But honestly, you didn't need to show me anything beyond that ship drifting in space with the cargo hold kind of flap open in the back.
Open. I know what happened. What happened before that scene?
That and the voiceover, and I'm sold. I love all of it, but I didn't need anything beyond that. I would have been thrilled if they had just given us the voiceover and the ship drifting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, so when it first started, again, I had the ship drifting. I didn't realize initially that it was drifting. I just thought it was a shot of the ship. And then the next shot looked a little bit like a shot from the first season. I was like, oh man, it's another one of those stupid fan-made things. Like I've been hoodwinked. And then it like sort of blew up, and it was like, oh no, wait a second. And it is legit. They, I just want to, honestly, every day was like, we're going to get a trailer today. And I was like, who cares? It's a TV show. Really. I was just, I mean, whatever. I really didn't care that much until it dropped. And it was like, it was amazing. They, and the Mando finally got his jetpack. So that was my little moment of,
of Zen.
Yes. So it was great. The kids were like, we're not going to do school today. We're just going to watch this. I was like, oh, no, you're not.
I may or may not have interrupted school to
may or may not.
play the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
I did the same thing when I dropped this morning. My son is on the computer, and he was in between breaks, luckily. So I said, hey, do you want to watch something? And he goes, what is it? And and then he sees the ship, and he's like, oh, so
yeah.
I posted earlier a shot, and it happens kind of in the middle. There's the image of a ship that looks like it's, careening towards the atmosphere of this planet. It is basically engulfed in flames, and it does look like it's the shape of the Razor Crest. Do you guys did you guys remember that shot? And my question is, do you guys think that this is probably the last time we'll see the Razor Crest maybe he'll trade up or something? You guys know what the shot I'm talking about? I think,
Yeah, but I don't think it's
definitely
likely
the Razor.
Yeah, it's definitely the Razor Crest, and I don't think it's likely that they're going to ditch it. Merchandising. That's why.
Oh, yeah.
And let's just be real. In Star Wars, ships take on a personality, like it's a character. So I don't see them getting rid of the Razor Crest because it's already kind of iconic and has its own personality to it.
Right, and it's synonymous with that character.
Yes,
exactly.
I think that's tied to that opening shot. That opening shot with the Razor Crest kind of looking like it's kind of wobbling derelict in space immediately called to mind the shot in Serenity where they had kind of patched up the Firefly to get past the Reavers, and they had like the engine leak and stuff. It just it didn't look like there was a ton of physical damage to the ship, but it definitely looked like it was wobbling through space. So assuming that that's the planet Ilum, and I don't think it's the planet in the distance that you're meant to focus on. I think it's the planet the ship is over, the larger one in the foreground. And I do think it's Ilum. I think that there may still be some sort of an Imperial presence guarding that planet because they were strip mining it for the Kyber crystals. And this would have been in that kind of post-Empire, but pre-First Order coming in and actually turning it into Starkiller Base. So if there's any kind of Imperial presence there, he may have, set the ship up to look like it was derelict, kind of had it start plummeting through the atmosphere, and then, kind of pulled out. And that's when we kind of spill into the scenes where we see them down on the planet itself.
Yeah, Charlie has a comment in the. We lost Charlie, but he's in the chat. He says maybe he'll get Slave One. I was thinking kind of the same thing. Like maybe he'll get another rendition of Boba Fett's ship. But that's interesting. So, Kev, any other additional thoughts on the trailer? First off, before I head over to Justice.
Yeah, when I first saw it, Mongolian throat singing. I mean, that's metal. Come on. The second thing that I put together was, as we had discussed on previous live shows, that we had that discussion about, is he finding Yoda's species or is he finding his people? And I think clearly Din Djarin is going to be doing almost like a Force collector thing where he's going to be looking for clues of the Jedi and I think that excited me just because of the different territories they can tap into and kind of tip the hat towards is going to make the second season kind of be more in line with what we've discussed Filoni does. Season 1 is pretty contained. Season 2, they just expand it and go full tilt with it. I think that was the impression I got the first time I watched the trailer.
Kev, you're like reading my mind tonight. I literally wrote down Force Collector because I had the same sort of vibes from it. And there was a question in the chat about and I know we're going to talk more about the water planet that they're on. Obviously, I guess the first go-to would be Mon Calamari. But along the lines of what you're saying, Kev, and Force Collector, I'm going to propose another name. And if you guys can tell me where this planet comes from, you get 500 cool points. But the planet I'm thinking that might be is Amareth. Does the planet Amareth ring any bells with anybody?
Rob from the Jedi Temple Archives?
Yeah, isn't that where they find the Force Collector, his grandfather?
Yeah. Yes, I do believe so. I do believe so. Here's me. I've got the book. I do believe so. That's correct. Correct. There.
Oh, so we have an authority.
Sorry.
And Amareth is also mentioned in the book Heir to the Jedi by Kevin Hearn. That is the water planet that they went to in Heir to the Jedi, which happened during the original trilogy time. So if we are going with the Force Collector route and they're trying to follow the trail, Luke Skywalker was there. We see obviously the Tatooine scenes in the trailer. So if he's trying to follow this trail of Luke, then Amareth might be a planet he might go to. And they've kind of used some obscure planets in the Mandalorian as opposed to going with the most recognizable planets. So I'm thinking it might actually be Amarith on that one.
Cool.
We saw Water Planet in Legends of Luke Skywalker too. There's a water planet. Well,
There's only one water planet. It's Camino.
or Camino.
That's true.
Yeah.
I was being facetious.
True.
No,
Just
not Camino.
So let's head down to Justice. Justice, your thoughts on the Mando trailer?
Two things really stuck out to me. The first being that there's going to be more inclusion of Jedi and the Force in this season, and I'm really interested in seeing who that character is that they show really quickly, and then like she's got the hood, and then it flat vanishes away. And then another thing that I kind of noticed is that it seems that Baby Yoda has matured, and the fact that like Michelle was talking earlier, when he realizes that Mando's about to attack people, so he covers himself up. It seems like in the first season he, was that like he was actually like a baby, but then now maybe he's like in that toddler age where he's kind of, he's seen Mando and seen his mannerisms, so he kind of knows what to do. That's something that I thought as I was watching that trailer.
That would make sense.
Yeah, totally.
That would totally make sense.
How about you, Nicole?
Well, going real quick back off what he said, Sasha Banks, WWE, she's going to be reprising that role that he was just talking about. And I'm really excited to see how she'll be fitting in to the Mandalorian cast. As well, I also noticed some snow. So I was beginning to think, will we see a little bit of Hoth? Just a thought. It's just a theory. So I'm really, really excited. I cannot wait. The biggest takeaway, though, is when the armorer says about the Jedi being sorcerers. It's the first time I've ever heard of it that way. So I'm really interested in how they're going to take this, because I never would have thought of a Jedi being considered a sorcerer. And hopefully they mean in a positive way, although I got a feeling she meant in a negative.
Didn't she call them sorcerers in season 1? I kind of remember that quote.
Well, that whole spiel was from season 1, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
And that might be a very
I don't know
unique.
Right.
Go ahead.
It's sticking out. It's sticking out this time, though. It's like really, really
Yeah.
there. And it's like, okay, now they're on this journey and we're really going to see these Jedi. And it's, which Jedi are we going to see? Is this going to lead possibly to Ahsoka or some other Jedi? We don't know. So I'm excited.
True.
And I like surprises, so I'm okay with not doing rumors.
Absolutely.
True. I think at the end of the day, that trailer, it gave us nothing. Like, it gave nothing away. It was like, here's all the whiz bang you guys have been clamoring for months. Shut your traps. And it just gave us nothing to go off of. It's all like, oh wow, well, what's this mean? What's this mean? We have literally no clue where they're going to take any direction in this season, which I find personally incredibly exciting.
And it's a similar feeling to when they first announced The Force Awakens. We didn't know what was going to happen, and that half of that was the excitement of not knowing. And I think we're back at that stage, not knowing where the story is going to go. And I think I find that very exciting, very exhilarating, and I can't wait for the season to drop.
Absolutely.
Quick note on
more.
I mean,
didn't
Say again, Rob?
Admiral Mahdi refer to Vader, or don't frighten us with your sorcerer's ways?
Oh yeah, there you go. Good
Oh,
connection there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So would this character then be like a Sith or a dark side user, or do they refer to all Jedi and Sith collectively as sorcerers? So
That
more questions.
Yeah, that might be like a uniquely Mandalorian way of looking at Jedi, just given the history of Mandalorian and Jedi. They might refer to them as sorcerers in kind of a snide way. I don't know. That was the one thought that struck me, that maybe that's a very Mandalorian way of looking at Jedi.
Right, and I don't know of any reason for the Mandalorian to differentiate.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Imperial propaganda. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Who knows?
Yeah. So, Rob, did we get your take on the trailer first off? First thing
Yeah,
there?
I just said it was obviously they're going to go in a more risque direction with that Gamorrean action there in the ring. So getting a little sketchy there.
Very sketchy. You know, that's one of the cool things. I think somebody had said it in the chat regarding kind of bringing in the Jedi into the story. Now that we, season 1, the Jedi are not there, so it's going to be interesting going into season 2, trying to figure out, at least from a perspective of the storytelling at that time within this galaxy, how the Jedi fit into all this. We obviously know that Order 66 happened, and although the Empire is gone for the most part, the organizational aspect of it is. But it's going to be interesting. I mean, we don't know a lot that happens in this timeline. The Jedi that hid away, do they realize that, oh, the Empire is gone, maybe I can kind of come out of the shadows a little bit to see, to see what's going on? Do the other Jedi feel the presence of the child, and are they now mobilized because of it? All these, these are great questions to ask, and I'm excited to see if maybe we get some answers.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big galaxy. And the impression that I get is that, Din Djarin, kind of with his connections in the underworld, he's going to be looking for whispers of anything that resembles actions that the child does, lifting things, stopping things. He's going to be looking for any kind of rumors of that and trying to, basically bounty hunt his way to a Force user. I mean, it's what he knows, right? He's a bounty hunter. That's kind of how I see it. But with that comes a bunch of possibilities. You can allude to Cal Kestis, you can allude to Kanan Jarrus, you can allude to Ezra. You can take it in all these different directions that could make it an interesting season in the sense of like he's got to hop from rumor to rumor.
Yeah.
And if you look at the timing of the trailer, right when the armorer says Jedi, that's when they show Sasha's character in the cloak. Now, I still think, of course, she was on Twitter today and she had posted a picture with her with blue hair. I think they're dropping hints. I really do think she's Sabine. I think she'd be cool as Sabine. At least she's got the look for it. But even though WWE is all real, it's not, none of it's acting or anything. None of it. I think you're led to believe that she might be a Jedi, but I think she's Sabine. And just remember, at the end of Star Wars Rebels, she and Ahsoka were there. I believe they left together at the end. Ahsoka the White
and they left. Didn't they leave with 2 X-wings?
I believe so. Yeah.
I think she may have been a liaison to Ahsoka. I think that may have been her tracking him as a liaison to Ahsoka, who might be still in that sort of fulcrum. That
was my read. I thought that they showed her when they mentioned Jedi, and I think it was just because she is the envoy, essentially, of Ahsoka. And it's meant to scope things out before Ahsoka would show up.
That sounds a little more plausible to me than Sabine. I think you don't tease a character like Sabine Wren like that. You know what I mean? Or you don't tease Sabine Wren at all. If you're gonna drop Sabine in a show like this, I mean, she gets an entrance. I mean, she gets a big entrance. So to me,
show her hair, though. She had a cloak on. Didn't show her hair.
True. I mean, maybe. But I mean, I don't know. With a character like that, I mean, she deserves an entrance, in a fiery one at that. Like, give her a real 80s action movie entrance, But the idea of Ahsoka having tendrils out there, kind of keeping an eye on things, is totally plausible. Totally plausible. She was Fulcrum. She kind of ran a vast intelligence network. And she ostensibly, we have to think that she knows who Luke Skywalker is. She's aware of Luke Skywalker. maybe she's keeping an eye on him too. I don't know. That opens up a whole like myriad of possible connections there.
I get what you're saying about Sabine, but I do think it's interesting that her being introduced this way in this particular show would mirror kind of how her mother in the company of Bo-Katan Kryze got introduced in season 7 of the Clone Wars, where they were basically keeping an eye on Ahsoka at that point as well.
That's fair.
They revealed themselves on Coruscant.
That's fair.
Let me ask you guys this. We saw that shot of the Mandalorian kind of being flanked by the 2 X-Wings. Who do you think is in those X-Wings? Is it anybody of importance, or are these just regular, fighter pilots? Somebody noted that maybe there was an R2 unit or R2D2 himself in one of those X-Wings. I'm not sure if I see it. It's obviously really small, and why were they there? Were they wherever the Mandalorian was heading to? Why were they guarding this planet or area or whatever? But what do you guys think? Who's in the X-Wings besides Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau? Michelle, I'll go to you first.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. I haven't really thought about that one. You'll have to go to someone else. I do want to say this, since you brought up Jon Favreau. Did anyone else notice the kind of creature-like that Mando's talking to sounds like Jon Favreau? Did anyone else notice that?
The one-eyed Sam?
Yes. Yeah.
I think that's Gord Koresh. They teased him previously. But yeah, he had Filoni's voice and he had Donald Trump's hair, which I think they were trying to slide in there as a funny if you watch it again.
Yeah.
The one-eyed Cyclops. My middle child says it's that one-eyed Cyclops there. I was like, yeah, that's not redundant at all.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think about the X-Wings? Who's in there?
I think they're just random New Republic pilots. I think the Mando's messing with some New Republic stuff, and they're letting him know about it. This is going to be an interesting season in the sense that, we don't really know if the Bounty Hunters Guild is still after him, if they're still peeved off at him. We know Moff Gideon's out there looking for him. Why not up the stakes in season 2 and just have him, ticking everybody off? Let's put the New Republic to the list too. Who knows? But I don't think there's really anyone of import there.
I think that's interesting though, because the first time I watched it, I thought, especially when they show the second scene with them kind of chasing through the clouds, that it was them attacking the Mandalorian. But when I rewatched it the second time, they open their S-foils while they're basically flanking him, which isn't what they would typically do if they were attacking. They would have gotten in behind him. So I got the impression the second time that they were escorting him and then he was kind of leading an attack. And I don't know if that's in any way tied to the later scenes where there's the attack on the Imperial base, kind of when he, jetpacks off. But it did look the second time, and I know there's been some people who've kind of theorized that the clouds on that particular planet had a feeling kind of the clouds around Cloud City as well. But I don't know that they're going to go to a ton of OT locations in this series. I think they're committed to exploring a lot of new worlds, and even with something like Ilum, that's something that most Star Wars fans aren't going to be super familiar with. But I don't know that they're going to go to a ton of the OT locations.
True.
Yeah, I think that if they kind of head back to OT locations, heavily, I think fans will kind of revolt. I think it's nice to have them, experience some new locations, some new planets, or maybe even planets that we have heard of but we've never been to. Stuff like Brad, like you were saying, planets from books and novels and things like that. I think I think that would be interesting.
Although people were pissed during the first season when that wasn't Tatooine. It just looked like Tatooine. So now they're probably going to get pissed. They are back on Tatooine.
Yeah.
Star Wars.
Yeah, you're already hearing some of that. Yeah, you're already hearing some of that.
You can't please everybody, I guess.
You cannot please all the people all the time. At least
You know
not
how
all the
to
Star Wars fans.
You know how to piss off a Star Wars fan? Say something.
Yeah. This is why I'm just like, I'm easy to please, man. Just keep shoveling it. I'm gonna unhinge my jaw, keep shoveling it in my mouth, and I'll be happy, man. We'll be good.
I'll keep paying for it.
That's right. That's right.
So let me ask you guys this. I'll start with Nicole. We obviously heard the rumors about Ahsoka and Rosario Dawson and et cetera, et cetera. Obviously, Ahsoka is a very popular character in the Star Wars community. It's a topic that Brad and I are going to tackle in the very near future, but we didn't get to see a hint of any frame that might be someone resembling Ahsoka. We kind of picked apart, this new character, but I had posted too that you don't see the bumps in the headrest to make it seem like it's Ahsoka, so it's probably not her. What do you think? What do you think about that? Do you think that the rumors are true and we will see Ahsoka sometime, or do you think that's something that once we see all the episodes, we are going to realize that we probably should take any rumor that doesn't come from Lucasfilm with a grain of salt, and shame on us. We learned our lesson. Fooled me once, et cetera, et cetera. What do you think, Nicole?
Okay, so I'm the one who I love surprises and I don't love the rumor mill, and I will always do my research afterwards. So is it a possibility? I say yes, only because now I've seen IMDb. Like, I went in to do additional research, and there is a picture there of Rosario Dawson. Now, is it a ploy just to get us all going, or is it real? That is to be seen. So I'm really excited to see whether it happens or not, but I'm not going to get upset if she is or is not in the show. I'm really love The Mandalorian, and I'm excited to see what they actually have ready for us. So maybe we'll see Ahsoka. I love her, but maybe we won't. So I'm excited to see what comes.
I'm in the same boat. What do the rest of you guys think?
I'm becoming more and more inclined to think that if we do see her, it will be probably a quick tease at the end. And the thing that kind of led me to believe that is, I think that the addition of Ahsoka too early solves a lot of the issues that the Mando is going to run into, a lot of the more insurmountable stuff, because you literally have a Jedi next to you. And I think that would kind of cheapen the journey that they're going to have to go through to ultimately get to Ahsoka. But it does make sense to throw her in at the end as a quick teaser, get you hyped for season 3. And it's also kind of introducing this concept that has been going around that they're doing a connected universe, right? That's at least what makes the most sense to me.
I can see that. And I talk about this on Twitter all the time. I think if she is in it, we're going to see her at the very end, and it'll give us fans something to really talk about and sink our teeth into, between the two seasons. So,
right.
If she is in it, I'm like you, Nicole. If she's not in it, I won't be sad. I think we have enough there to really wet our whistle coming in to season 2. Enough material there that really will get us excited. What about the rest of you guys?
Yeah, they could incorporate her. They could find a hologram that she had left behind to give them some direction on their quest. I don't think she necessarily has to be an active character that they're interacting with. I think that would solve a lot of issues too with Ahsoka, because if she does actually get involved in any of the action sequences, that was kind of one of the challenges, right? Which was to get anyone who was going to be able to fit act in a way that was similar to Ahsoka, especially if there's any battle. So I think that would be kind of a safer route for them to go.
Sure.
They could still bring her in person in later seasons if it goes over well with the fans, but
right.
I was going to say, I don't know. Obviously, none of us know if she will be in it, but I think it makes sense she could be in it, considering Juan Carlos Esposito has talked about the Darksaber being used a lot in this season. And, I mean, maybe Mando will get a weapon that is very good fighting with a Darksaber, but it seems like a logical place you could have this very big hurrah moment with this character we all love, and still like you guys said, Kevin, especially like bring it at the end, like for that final, maybe even episode. I don't know. I mean, I would be ecstatic if they do it in the right way, and I'm going to trust that Dave Filoni, if he uses Ahsoka, it will be done in a way that we're going to like it, because he adores that character, created that character, and is very protective of that character. So if she's in it, I think we're all going to just absolutely love it.
Yep.
Yeah, it's Semper Fi Danny. Thank you very much for the comment. She says, I'm not hinging my enjoyment about The Mandalorian on the appearance of established canon characters. Absolutely. I think obviously it's like icing on the cake. The cake is really good, but if Ahsoka shows up, I mean, my jaw will drop, really. I mean, Ahsoka has been like I said, a favorite character for years. Not right away, obviously. She kind of had to grow into her own skin, not only with herself but with the fans. But I think now she's probably in the top 5, favorite Star Wars characters out there for a lot of us for many reasons. And like Michelle said, it's because she's been, taken care of by Dave Filoni, written exceptionally well as a character throughout the incarnations of, Rebels and Clone Wars. And if she's in it, great. If not, I think, like I said, there's still a lot there to enjoy. Well, that's my story.
I mean, I might be in slight disagreement with you guys. I'll take any and all Rebels characters as much as they want to put them on there. Yeah, the Mandalorian's the focal point, and the child, with him. I will take any and all cameos to main roles. I don't care how much they want to give them. I'm down for it. I did not like the way Rebels ended. I guess it kind of had to end that way, but I felt it was incomplete. You have the mission with Ahsoka and Sabine, and where the hell are Ezra and Thrawn, and that sort of thing. So I'll take any and all characters from Rebels as much as they want, and Rex as well. I'm okay with any of them being on there as much as they want to put them on there.
Yeah, you're likely going to get your wish. I mean, as we've discussed before, Dave Filoni does not leave a thread that he does not later pull on, right? So, I mean, in some way, shape, or form, we're always going to come back to those characters because it is such a seminal point in this new era of Star Wars. It's one of the special points, so I don't think they're in any way, shape, or form done with those characters at all.
Yeah, and I want to say on that, I think we all need to remember too, with Dave Filoni, he's yet to let us down in anything he's done. So I believe even if all those characters are brought in a little bit, I don't think he's going to forget what the heartbeat of the show is, which is Mando and Baby Yoda. So I think he'll do it in a way like I compare, say, Rebel Season 2, where you bring in Vader and you bring in Ahsoka, and yet it didn't take away from the core group that we were following. It just enhanced it, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And let's not forget his casual sliding in of Maul at the end of it. Like,
Sure.
just the, you're already at the peak, and, there you go. There's another one. I mean, that's how he rolls.
Yeah.
And I think that's a special way that he rolls. I think, sitting in that darkened theater and watching, Maul's hologram appear, for the first time in many years, I was just blown away. And I think if Dave Filoni kind of sticks to, being able to understand the story, the narrative element from a big picture perspective, I think, yes, the galaxy is a large place, but we have to kind of find an interconnectivity to it all for it to be able to make some sort of sense. There is some chat in the chat, I guess, for lack of a better word, regarding the character of Boba Fett, and I know people are saying that he's been listed in the Internet Movie Database. IMDb for those of you who have attention span disorder. But what do you guys think about Boba Fett in the show? Do you think we're going to see him? Is he another character, from the OT that we might see? I know Matt Vader said, leave the OT characters out of this. It's more interesting with them out. But Brad and I, we talked about the fact that even if you bring Ahsoka into the show, it becomes the Ahsoka Tano show. If you bring Boba Fett, it might be a similar thing where Boba Fett becomes more of a spectacle. Justice, you're shaking your head. What do you think about that?
I don't really think Boba Fett is. I know a lot of fans really love Boba Fett, but he doesn't have ever that big of a role. So I think if you introduce Boba Fett, you're just gonna, it would be fleshing out his character instead of like being a spectacle, because he doesn't really have a bigger role in the OT. So that's just my opinion. I don't think it. I think if they do introduce him, it'd be cool, but I don't think it would I think it would be different if they introduced an actually very important key character from the OT. I think that's the big difference. I know
Anybody
a lot of
else?
people agree because they love Boba Fett, but I don't think Boba Fett character is that important.
Yeah, especially in this story, I kind of agree with you because what is he going to offer? This story, we already have the Mando doing his job, unless they become adversaries in some way. But Rob, you were talking to somebody in the chat regarding where Boba Fett fits in this galaxy or in this part of the story, and it's not really Boba Fett. It's not actually Boba Fett. It's what was the character that you mentioned?
Yeah, Cobb Vanth. He was from the Chuck Wendig trilogy, and it's not explicitly stated, but it is strongly implied that the Jawas basically come across Boba Fett's armor. It's Mandalorian armor pitted by some unknown or unseen thing. The assumption would be the acid from the belly of the Sarlacc, and they basically got the full suit of armor. And this guy, Cobb Vanth, who lives on Tatooine, kind of decides to take that armor and wear that around and kind of becomes the sheriff of Tatooine. So if they're going to revisit Tatooine within this season, we've already kind of seen the hint in episode 5 of season 1 that someone in Boba Fett's armor may have walked up on the body of the, I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but the dead bounty hunter that was killed. Yeah, yep. So basically, it could have been someone wearing Boba Fett's armor. I don't know. They could be going to either confirm that storyline. If we run into Boba Fett within the season, it could be to kind of be proof of life that he did somehow survive the Sarlacc, but he's no longer walking around in that Mandalorian armor. There's a couple different ways that could go with it. I think that would enrich the storyline, but not necessarily override the main storyline with the Mandalorian and Baby Yoda. Or, Din Djarin throws a temper tantrum and walks off set, and Boba takes on the Mando's outfit, and here we go.
Sure, yeah, that's a way to fix it. Nicole, I see you're kind of paging through the Ahsoka novel. Any clues in there as to if we might see Ahsoka anytime soon in this storyline? Or maybe not?
Stand by, folks.
Technical difficulties.
So the other thing too that people are talking about in the chat is Boba Fett's demise. I remember seeing a comic book from the Marvel Comics series where he did survive the Sarlacc pit. I don't know if that's canon anymore. I know we've got stuff from the Aftermath series of books. I don't think personally. I don't think Boba Fett is necessary in the storyline. I think we have enough. I guess enough plot to kind of string us along, at least for one season. Is there anything in the trailer that you saw today that surprised you as far as something that you didn't think you'd see, or a plot point that you kind of maybe extrapolated from a shot that you didn't expect?
those Gamorreans had really skinny legs, and it makes me question whether or not they squat. And if they're not squatting, then why are they not squatting? They're Gamorreans. They're huge.
Did anything take someone out of that scene more than those like chicken legs?
Right.
Yeah. Like, I mean, clearly those are stunt doubles. You couldn't have packed some extra foam on the calves, man. I mean, just made them look like they've lifted ever, maybe.
So when that scene comes out on Disney Plus, when it finally comes out, watch the legs, because I bet you that they will digitally
they'll be beefed up,
enhance. Yeah, I bet you. We'll be back here talking about that.
They're gonna give those Gamorreans cankles.
There you go.
If I lose, you get a T-shirt, Ro.
It's damn comfortable too.
Right on, brother.
Any other surprises? Things that you noticed from the trailer?
I like the shots. Of course, they have to throw the klaxon in there. You know, you have to have that Imperial alarm somewhere in the Star Wars trailer. Of course, I'm completely down for that. I'm surprised there might be more Imperial remnant than we think, because this is 5 years after Return of the Jedi. Obviously, Moff Gideon. Also, on Moff Gideon, apparently he was said to have a large ship. So I'm hoping that he has his own Star Destroyer, and maybe he has a cool paint job. That's just me wishful thinking. Probably not, but we'll see. You know, there was a lot of Empire there. You know, speeders, and if you look at that scene closely, there's stormtroopers lying all around.
Right.
It kind of looked like something from Fallen Order, like one of the bases you attack on Fallen Order. It's kind of the feel I got from it. So I'm kind of surprised how much Empire is still left at this point. I mean, realistically, they would be, but previous, you know, we thought they were kind of gone for 30 years completely. So it'll be nice to see how much Empire actually is left, and the different groups within the Empire fighting for power. That might be pretty cool.
And Gideon's force are the only ones that haven't gone shabby chic like the rest of the stormtroopers, right?
Yeah.
That's true.
But see, that's the fascinating thing for me, is to be able to see the Empire, you know, post Palpatine and post Vader. I mean, what do they do? You know, obviously they can't lay down their guns and, you know, go get a job at the post office. It's, you know, this is all they know. So to be able to follow, you know, another Gideon, another Tarkin, to try to either maintain control of their territory as they were charged to do as you know, Imperials. You know, just because you cut the head off the Hydra doesn't mean that the rest of the body isn't still functioning. So that's going to be a very interesting thing. Are we going to see, you know, different factions of Imperials fighting amongst themselves, amongst each other? Again, it's fertile ground for storytelling, and it's something that we've never seen before in you know, in the films or the cartoons. So it's going to be really, really interesting. I like that aspect of this part of the story that we all know.
There's one location we haven't really talked about as well, which is kind of that planet where I think the Gamorrean fighting takes place. Planet, moon, whatever. I mean, there's been some talk that, you know, it'd be cool if it was Nar Shaddaa or something like that. Anyone have any thoughts on that?
You guys are literally reading my mind tonight. Nar Shaddaa was the first one. Again, we're probably wishful thinking on all these references to previous locations. But Nar Shaddaa was literally the first thing I thought of when I saw that.
Maybe. I mean, though, you know, as far as wishful thinking, you know, Filoni is, I mean, he's not afraid to deep dive on these locations. So
why did you think it was that planet?
Past him at all.
What was that, Justice?
Why do you guys think it's that planet? I'm just curious.
What's the significance of Nar Shaddaa?
Well, I mean, if you're going to do some underworld, I mean, it's like the capital of the universe for underworld connections,
right?
You know, it's Hut controlled, or at least most of the time it's Hut controlled. All kinds of gangs there. So you know, if you want to find information or find people, you would go to Nar Shaddaa.
Yeah, and the Gamorreans obviously being tied to the Hutts, and the fact that they were not above kind of using them for sport in Jabba's palace. So I did see Lauren posted a comment in chat as well talking about Lothal, which is one of the other suggestions that I had seen kind of pop up online today, which again, that'd be interesting as well.
I love that idea because, and I was listening to a live stream earlier, and I've been reading comments and things. But if they go back to Lothal, because the Mando's chasing rumors of Jedi, and they give an allusion to a blind Jedi on Lothal, I will cry.
Yeah.
I will cry. It will be disgusting. My wife will have to deal with it. But
And we'll live stream it.
Yes, I will live stream it. You will see a grown man cry. Or what is the line from The Big Lebowski? Strong men also cry. But if they drop that, I mean, that's all. I mean, that'd be peak Filoni, right?
Didn't we all just say that we didn't want that much Rebels? I thought that was like the conversation we just had, like 10,
Nope.
15 minutes where you guys,
Nope.
I was just icing on the cake, and now y'all want to go back to Lothal?
I want it all.
So do we want Rebels or do we not want Rebels? I mean,
Wet my whistle, Dave.
so y'all want a lot of icing on your cake then?
I like icing. I'm a big
icing is
Everybody
good.
loves icing.
Give it
I
like
want-
70% icing. 70% icing, like
Amen.
30% cake.
Yeah, I want Rebels, and I want all the people who aren't familiar with the animated series to come listen to my podcast, and I'll break down all those characters for you. So
There
you'll
you
be
go.
good to go.
Nice plug.
There you go. Nice plug.
See?
Nice plug there, Rob. So there's another two scenes kind of in the middle of the trailer where I know we talked a little bit about how it could be Mon Cala, and what is the name of the squid dudes that also live on that planet along with the Mon Calamari? Yes.
Corn.
So, but I initially, I didn't see the Quarren. I saw this place that looked like the Colossus from Resistance. It was very similar. This very similar look, just kind of this outdoor, plaza on the water. It kind of reminded me of that. So, but I do think it is Mon Cala. Mon Cala. How do you call it?
It's Mon Cala.
Cala.
Yeah.
Because of the squid dudes. So.
Did you notice that the two characters with their backs to the Mandalorian right in front of them, one of them had like an aquatic tank on its back, but they totally look like Mithril.
Mhm.
Like that character from episode 1 of season 1, kind of looking at him from behind. He's got that spine that runs down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It took me forever to try to place that, but once I saw it,
What if it's that dude?
Right, it's his family. It's his wife and daughter.
Or like, what if it's that dude? Maybe he got out of the carbonite. Maybe he squashed his beef, and he's like, "Oh, hey, I remember you. You like arrested me." But like, that'd be kind of cool.
He paid off Grief Karga. That's why Grief got the new duds.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Totally. Yeah.
Give that guy more work. Well, who was that? That was an SNL character.
Horatio Sands?
Yeah, Horatio Sands.
Yes, yes. Give him more work. I like Horatio Sands.
Can't get Brian Posehn any more work though.
That was kind of depressing that they killed him off. I like Brian Posehn.
Right.
He's a nerdy metalhead just like me, and I'm like, kindred spirits.
Yeah, I don't think he made it out of that. We can argue with that getting out of the Sarlacc pit, but I don't think he got out whatever that critter was.
Right.
No, he dead. He's dead.
So I know Brad wanted to talk a little bit about some controversy. I don't know if you want to go in that route or continue some speculation there.
Well, hold on. I want to say this one thing because to me it totally clears up what Brad and what all of us have kind of been thinking. I just got on Twitter and Emily Swallow, who of course plays the armor, she put, she retweeted the trailer and she has hashtag this is the way, hashtag go find them dang Jedi. So, I mean, I think she's clearly telling us that's the point of this season.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Put a lid on it, folks. We know.
Right. Yeah. And somebody said that in the chat. I think, we'd probably watch it a couple more times, but I think we definitely have our plot points for season 2 on The Mandalorian. I think, if there was any doubt whether Baby Yoda's people were his species or the Jedi, I think that has been laid to rest regarding who his people are. I think the sorcerers that we are looking for are going to be one and the same. They're going to be the hidden Jedi that maybe for whatever reason, now they come out of hiding. But one thing I posed in 2Med2's show last night when I was on towards the end, I wanted to find out this story. How does it end, and how does it impact the sequel trilogy? Because obviously the events of the sequel trilogy happen, after this story. How are those two going to connect, and should they connect, or do they connect? Will they connect? I just don't know. I can't see how they're going to tie that together because, okay, so are we assuming that Luke Skywalker is training a new school of Jedi Knights? Is the child going to find these other Jedi Knights? And I don't know, is he going to be like the savior that's going to bring everybody out of hiding? Where is the change in Luke Skywalker as we see him in the sequel trilogy versus the Luke Skywalker that we think we know at this point in time, being all hopeful and training new Jedi and all that stuff? Where is that connective tissue?
I mean, I don't know that we necessarily need connective tissue to Luke Skywalker for this to work. I would assume that in a fragmented Jedi Order, which is what we have just remnants that have scattered across the galaxy to hiding places. I would assume that we've gone back to more like the Jedi of old, where we may have a number of schools of Jedi now.
Yeah. I would agree with that. I think that like 5 years after Return of the Jedi, I don't know if Luke is already starting his Jedi training temple. I think he is at this point. He's doing one of two things. Either he is out in the galaxy looking for anything related to the Jedi, so he can kind of reconstruct the history, and he can, because obviously he does that. By the time we get to the Last Jedi, he's stripped away all the myth and he's figured out the fact. So he's either doing that, he's either training Leia. Because we know that he started training Leia pretty much immediately after Return of the Jedi. I think that if you allude to Luke Skywalker, I think that's a little more enticing. Because after season 2, clearly they're going to start production on season 3. They're not going to let that sit, but they are still doing Kenobi. They're doing Cassian Andor. And if I had to put money on the table, I'd say they're probably going to go back for a bit. And they're going to use season 3 of The Mandalorian to kind of really expand on that time going in between the sequel trilogy.
Interesting. Lauren had said that she doesn't care if it connects to the sequel trilogy. I think it would be cool. I think, when a cinematic universe connects like Marvel does, I think it makes... To me, it makes it more interesting when you sit back and you watch everything. You're like, oh, cool, this connects to that connects to this. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, why even have a cinematic universe? But I think it would be cool. I think, if they do find a way to connect it, I think Dave Filoni and Favreau are the guys to kind of bridge that gap. But yeah, Lauren, it doesn't have to connect. But for me, I think it would be cool because... it is Star Wars, this one big line of storytelling that we are familiar with. But if it doesn't, I'll be okay with that too.
I think it easily loosely connects because, I think it would. The way they are coming after the child, it's hard not to think now, knowing what we know, that Palpatine is somehow behind it. In some way, whether he left instructions, I don't know. And clearly by the end of this, he doesn't find the child because that's why he needs Rey or Kylo Ren to bring him back with their Force essence. So, I would connect it that way, but it's very loose, but there is a slight connection there.
Yeah. Yeah, and even like thematically, one of the sub themes of the sequel trilogy is decoding the Jedi, right? Getting away from the myth and getting down to what it really was. And I think we're gonna see something like that in Mando season 2, mirroring that in the sense that Din Djarin is out on this thing trying to decode the myth of the sorcerers from the reality that he has to search for. Same way that Luke had to go out and kind of strip the myth away. I think thematically it's kind of lining up there as well.
Lots of reinventing the wheel going on.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. I think especially with a trilogy that it's old as Star Wars, it's kind of cool to be able to do that in some form or fashion. It kind of keeps everything nice and tidy, storytelling wise. Obviously, it's the reason that they created the story group at Lucasfilm that may or may not have worked as a social experiment, I'd say, but at least that was the idea behind it.
Yeah, I mean, I just like the thematic connections, man. I just think that's one of the things I do appreciate about this era is the deconstructionist ideas there. Take what you already have, that you already think that you've got nailed down, and let's really flip that on its head. I kind of dig that, so the more they explore things like that, the more my ears kind of perk up.
Who wants them to team up with Cal Kestis and BD1?
Ooh.
Yes.
Why didn't I think of that?
Because that would be awesome.
Yeah. You know what? And I like Cameron Moynihan. I like the Cameron. What is his name? Moynihan. I don't want to embarrass myself. Okay.
No,
yeah.
right.
Like, I like that. I dig that dude, man. Like his Joker performance from Gotham, aces.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yes, and he was awesome as Cal Kestis.
Yep.
Yeah. Bring him in. Bring him
I
in.
agree. Who better? He's got the ability to, sense the force residue of different places. Who better to help him track down Baby Yoda's home planet?
Dude. All right, I'm done. My mind, done.
Well, hold on. I got a call from Favreau coming in. I wish. I wish.
Dude, that was cool. That was amazing. I never put that together. That was awesome.
Thank you.
More of that, less of everything else.
Deep cut.
Yeah.
Why Brad is wearing a Rebel Alliance hat, but that's the only one we haven't addressed.
I defected a while ago.
I know you did, but
yeah, they need to connect.
Wait! You didn't tell me. I'm gonna cancel your ass.
I'm wearing an X-wing T-shirt and everything, but they need to connect it more. I mean, I'm not sure if the Mandalorian is necessarily the way to do it. I wouldn't mind it, but I mean, to me, I don't think I'm alone in saying I still feel like the sequel trilogy is on an island by itself. I still feel like the sequel trilogy is so disconnected from the original and from the prequel trilogy. Although there's 20 years between prequel and original, I feel like one kind of flows right into the other. We didn't need all that material for the stuff that happened in between, but it's awesome. So much changed in the universe between episode 6 and episode 7. They really need to do some connecting there. Complete change to the First Order and everything else, to Luke, to the Jedi, and then no Jedi. I would love hints of that in the Mandalorian, but one way or another, they need to really, I think, bridge that gap some more, whether it's in books or other TV shows.
Yeah. I think that's the issue, right? Because I think that obviously that's a whole lot of space for them to fill up story-wise. I think that the issue is literally how do they want to do it? What medium do they want to do it through? Because they can do it through books, they can do it through comics, they can do it through film if they want. But now they've got this Disney Plus experiment that really worked for them, and they obviously are doubling down on. So I think it's just a matter of the powers that be figuring out, okay, well, how do we want to tell these stories? We have all of these options,
And I think they probably will start to do it once, Mandalorian, that's the only thing they have They're working on Obi-Wan. They're working on Cassian. Once they get that programming kind of scheduled and out there, they might have a better idea as far as how far to take it, how far to fill in that gap. Because obviously, whether you like it or not, I think COVID has changed the game here with entertainment. And maybe they'll do more series and less movies. I mean, they were already thinking about that before COVID. This might, unfortunately, put that last nail in the coffin.
Yeah, I want to say, Ro, and it's not pertinent necessarily to the trailer itself, but certainly to the point that you just made with the volume and the fact that they can now create any set they want at any time. They don't have to deal with the weather issues that certainly DOT had to deal with when shooting those films on location. And the fact that we know that they've got Kenobi, we know they've got the Cassian series, we know we've got Mandalorian. I think that ultimately it's going to get into a really nice flow where they're going to, because of those shows needing time in the volume to shoot, that I think that we're going to have the seasons kind of staggered throughout the year across the different shows. And we're going to end up with a lot more Star Wars to watch throughout the year. So we don't have this, you wait a year for the next season of The Mandalorian to come out. You may end up going right from the end of The Mandalorian a few months, all of a sudden into a season of Kenobi, a few months into a season of Cassian, and we're going to get a lot more consistent Star Wars content at a high quality level, as Michelle was pointing out earlier that, these shows are now movie quality, essentially, with the technology that they've got. And I think that probably a big part of that was while they kind of dialed in this technology with the volume, they were holding some of these other shows because they knew once they got that dialed in, they were going to be able to kick them out a lot quicker.
Right. Yeah. I think everyone needs to kind of pull back a minute and realize that The Mandalorian was not a sure thing when they first did it. It was one of those, like, let's dip our toe in the water, see how this live action series thing is received, how it goes, and when it had the success that it did, I mean, how quickly did we start seeing greenlit projects, Cassian Andor, Kenobi, and all this stuff? It all started kind of so I think Rob's right on the money there. It's gonna start rolling out, and I actually think that the movies are actually going to be fewer and far between, just because from a financial standpoint, they can spend a fraction of the cost on these series and still make merchandise revenue, still make streaming revenue, ad revenue, you name it. Like, they've got it. That's kind of where my head's going with it.
Definitely. Yeah. All right, guys, we have another segment, but before we start that to end here, I just want to make sure that we all got a chance to say what we needed to say. Any final thoughts on the Mandalorian Season 2 trailer from anybody?
I have talked
for myself. I am definitely again. Oh, sorry. I'm definitely very excited to see what's coming. I'm also interested in seeing what's going to happen with the Tusken Raider. They've teased it. Kind of curious what's going to happen. He was in season 1. What's going to go down? So I'm really curious about that too. And I'm really excited to see what unfolds. This is going to be really interesting between this and leading to season 3.
Definitely. And somebody said in the chat that they already had season 3 in IMDb logged out. Yeah, so cool. Yeah, it's definitely something that is going to feed us for a long time. So very excited. Very excited.
Like we said we kind of mentioned at the top of the show before everybody joined in. It's good to have content again. I want people to. I mean, obviously, so you mentioned COVID. Everybody's been in isolation. For 6 months now? We've been flattening the curve for 6 months. Everybody's kind of at each other's throats because they're in isolation. They haven't been able to, socialize like they normally would, go out to the movies with friends and stuff like that. So, we haven't had any content to chew on, so we've been chewing on each other, not in any sort of good way. I just want everybody to remember the feeling that they had. I think it was around this time last year, November, where we had the Mandalorian, we had Fallen Order, at the same time. So we were playing Fallen Order and we were watching the Mandalorian and the Rise of Skywalker coming out soon. I want everybody to get back to that feeling, and whatever happens, just remember, these are enjoy the TV shows. Be able to separate the TV shows from the actors. We may not agree with all the actors' personal beliefs. I know many actors in the past who's, I love them, and then they found social media, and I realized I didn't agree with a single thing that they said on social media, but I still love their movies. And let's get back to that. Be able to separate the actor from the role that they play, and enjoy the show. We can all agree that phobias are, any phobia is bad and uncalled for. Any ism is bad and uncalled for, and leads to nothing good, right? But let's get away from the cancel culture. As Rob puts that up there, let's get away from the cancel culture. I said this to Ro earlier. The cancel culture that we're currently in is very Vader-like. He thought I was joking, but very serious. Vader, he wanted to control everything. And when it came down to it, Vader's angst came from the fact that he couldn't control everything, and he couldn't control everyone. And when he couldn't control everyone, what did he do? One way or another, he got rid of them. He killed them. He made them go away in one way or another. From his wife to the Jedi, he couldn't control it, so he wanted to kill it, which is the same thing that we're seeing with this cancel culture. So let's get away from that. Let's get back to what we love, and we all saw the trailer today. It was a kick-ass trailer, and let's just enjoy the Mandalorian.
Amen. And to that, if Rob, I'm going to ask you to sing our Sentry Mode jingle so we can start the Sentry Mode, because we got some stuff to give away.
Sentry Mode.
There you go. Thank you so much. So I picked up a Mandalorian Black Series Stormtrooper that I'd love to give to somebody. So that's one thing. I got a whole bunch of autographed items from the Rise of Skywalker, provided to us by our friend Yoshi Vu, and gecko material that was provided by our friend who is on his way as we speak to Iowa for, I think, the tail end of his tour.
Don't say any names. That might come up in Sentry Mode. No names.
That's right. Okay,
Yeah.
That's right. So the other thing too is so Brad has prepared a couple of questions for Sentry Mode. It's a Mandalorian themed question. But those questions, if guys in the chat or people that are watching this on the pre-record, those questions, if you can follow our instructions, are going to be for this Darksaber that I picked up as well. I'm not going to turn it on because I don't know how to turn it off. It'll still buzz. But anyways, this is we're going to do a Sentry Mode for this Darksaber from the Mandalorian. It's really cool. Really nice little Darksaber. Okay, all right. I guess I'll turn it on. Let me turn it on.
You just have a Darksaber in the background. It's okay.
Nice.
Nice. That's awesome.
Cool. So we got that. We got the Stormtrooper. I will go ahead and give out the Stormtrooper to somebody in the chat. If I don't know, it'll be a separate. It'll be I guess a secondary.
I'll tell you what. You have two gifts to give away, right?
I got a whole bunch. So let's do the Sentry Mode for the Darksaber.
Okay.
So you wanted to let's do the rules first before we get to the questions.
Yep. So we're going to do this Sentry mode a little bit different. We are not going to answer right now. So make sure you. I'm sure we'll post the questions on Twitter too. I believe. I think that'll make things easier. But on this one, you're going to tweet us your answers. I'm going to ask 5 questions, as we always do on Sentry mode. So you're going to tweet us your answers. And number 1, obviously, they need to be correct. So no cheating. Answer honestly. So that's the first thing. You're going to tweet us with your answers. In your tweet, you're going to tag 5 of your friends and ask them to check out the Scuttlebutt. I think you'll have room for all this in one tweet. So you got your answers. Tag 5 of your friends, maybe friends that have not listened to the Scuttlebutt before. And then you're going to hashtag it, because we have to hashtag everything we do, with "Give me my Darksaber." So that's how you're going to do it. I'm going to ask all the questions now, and good luck to everybody. And we will pick the winner in a couple weeks, and we will announce it on an upcoming show. So you'll have to stay tuned to see if you won the Darksaber. So, Ro, we want to go ahead and just get right into those questions.
Yeah. Whoops.
All
Hold on
right.
a second. Let me get rid of this banner here. Boop-a-doop-boo.
All right. So, first question: what creature is ridden by Quill that also shares the name with Hera Syndulla's blaster? All right. So that's what's that creature that Quill's riding and gets Mando to ride? And that's you may have not realized that's also the name of the style of blaster that Hera Syndulla uses. That's question number 1. Question number 2: what stood over young Din Djarin right before he was saved by Death Watch? So in all those flashbacks, the plethora of flashbacks that we have, what was standing over young Din Djarin right before he was saved by Death Watch? Third question, and if you were paying attention to this show, then you probably heard the answer to this. What was the name of the destructive spread weapon that Mando wears on his wrist? A gift from the armorer, which is probably one of the coolest weapons in Star Wars right now, I think. And Baby Yoda wisely took cover when he saw that being used or about to be used. Fourth question: what does Mando choose as his sigil? Took him a long time to decide on what he wanted for his sigil. What did Mando finally choose as his sigil? And lastly, fifth question: who played the notorious bounty hunter Gecko that attempted to capture Mandalorian on Navarro, along with every other bounty hunter on Navarro? That's what happens when you renege on a contract, on a bounty hunting contract. Who played the notorious bounty hunter Gecko? That is question number 5. So again, tweet us those questions, those answers to those questions. Tag 5 of your friends, and remember to hashtag it. Give me my Darksaber.
And I will. I'll go ahead and post a link in a future Twitter post on the Scarif Scuttlebutt. It'll take you to a page on the Red 5 Network where we will go ahead and post those questions and the instructions. The instructions basically on how to be able to qualify to win that Darksaber. We will also pick a winner for the Stormtrooper, which I'm a sucker for Stormtroopers. I know, I have this same Stormtrooper in another packaging, but they're doing a pretty good job with tricking me into buying more Star Wars toys, because this is pretty good.
So hard.
It is, yeah.
Like shooting nerds in a barrel.
Shooting nerds in a barrel.
Did anyone else have an incredibly hard time not answering those questions?
Yes.
Yes.
So excellent. Thank you guys so much. As always, we are very excited to have you guys on board for our Scarif Live. I want to thank Nicole. Nicole is this is your first time on camera with anybody? We are
Yes, it
honored.
is.
Honored.
Awesome.
Honored. And I hope, Nicole, I hope you continue to interact with us. I know you have been in the past, and we continue to appreciate your support. Thank you so much. Tell everybody where you can be found, where your work can be found. I know you said it earlier, but on the tail end here.
Absolutely. Thank you again for allowing me to join in the fun today. I actually do Peace, Love, Star Wars, and I also write for Twin Suns Outpost.
Cool. Excellent. Let's go up the ladder here. Kev, Force Loser.
Yeah, we're a podcast. We talk into microphones and stuff. You guys can find us on anchor.fm. Through Anchor, you can find us on anywhere you find a podcast. We are also on the YouTubes. You can find me on Twitter and I realized I didn't type it in correctly there, at Force_losers, plural. You hit us up on there. I don't know. Find us on red5network.com. We're there too. So yeah, check it out, I guess, if you're into cringe.
I fixed it for you. I put the S in there.
You're a deer, Ro. You are a good egg.
Excellent. Justice, how about you?
You can also find us on Anchor, and we're on all the different podcasting sites. We're your Podwars Podcast, and you can find us at Twitter at Podwars Podcast.
Awesome sauce. Coruscant Radio Underground, my family.
You can find our show at Coruscant Radio Underground and the Science Fictionary Podcast pretty much anywhere you would want to go find a podcast.
Pandora. Pandora's not up yet.
Almost. It's coming.
Excellent. Yeah, that one takes that one's a little tricky. I remember when we did that one. A little tricky, but it'll get there. Michelle, Force of Light, where's your sister? I know I saw her in the chat.
Yeah, she's somewhere in the chat. You can find, Force of Light, me and my sister. You can find us anywhere podcasts are. And we also are on YouTube and do some videos that are specifically just YouTube videos. And you can find us at Force of Light Entertainment on Twitter and Instagram.
Awesome. Again, big part of the Red 5 network. I love all you guys. Even you, Rob.
Not so much. I know you do, Ro. I know you wore that shirt last night just for me on 2 Med 2s back to tank, so I appreciate that. But yeah, if you want to find us, we can be avoided on any podcatcher out there. If you like the show, definitely tell a friend. If you don't like the show, tell someone you don't like. We can be found at JTA Podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and that trailer full of burning dumpsters that is Twitter. And we can also be reached on our voicemail at 201-746-5827, which is JTAP.
Excellent. And last but not least, the butt to my scuttle, Mr. Brad.
If you're watching this, you know where to find us. We're on Twitter, Scarif Podcast, and from there you can find all of our links. But Ro has made sure that the Scarif Scuttlebutt is everywhere you can find your favorite podcast, iTunes, and all the good stuff. We're also obviously on YouTube. And don't forget to check out the Red 5 Network, both on Twitter and red5network.com. Ro and everybody else put a lot of work into that, and we have all these great podcasts on there. Whatever flavor you like, you're bound to find it there on the Red 5 Network. So go check out red5network.com.
That is absolutely true. A lot of great content, a lot of great content creators. I said it in the Red 5 DM thread. I would take a bullet for any of you. So I love you all, Red 5 family, and we will continue to talk. We'll continue to discuss. Brad and I have a special show coming up. Like I said, we were supposed to record tonight, but the trailer dropped. But I think we have a great couple of nights coming up that we're going to record a couple of shows for everybody that subscribes to our podcast. If you guys want to interact with us, like Brad said, we're on Twitter and everywhere else, but leave us a voicemail. We love to hear what you guys are thinking about, what you guys want to tell us. Leave us a voicemail over at the Scarif Scuttlebutt hotline, 773-234-8659. You might be featured on the show or played on the show. So, like I said, we love interacting with everybody. You know, sometimes it can get a little hairy, but here we are again, just enjoying Star Wars, responsibly, as I say. Thank you, everyone in
Don't
the
forget
chat.
to plug. No, don't forget to plug the Red 5 MySpace page.
Right. Let me
And our
launch
Gale
my
Cities website.
Netscape Navigator and log on.
That playlist on the MySpace page is sick.
Thank you.
Legit.
Awesome. Thank you guys very much. And until next time, Brad.
It's always sunny on Scarif, and that's the Scuttlebutt.